Unmelted snow was squeezed into the cracks between the gray bricks. The icicles under the corridor were on the verge of dripping. The familiar scene made me suddenly snap back to reality. I was actually reborn 30 years ago. A servant boy's curses rang in my ears. Where did this stinky beggar come from? Get lost already. I instinctively took a few quick steps toward the door. I saw only a crow-blue jadoo wrapped around a thin back. The young gentleman was prostrated before the steps. Those hands that had once written beautiful prose were now frozen blue in the cold wind. So pale they were almost transparent. That was the 19-year-old Shi Shangwai, me husband from my past life, with whom I shared 30 years of a marriage of mutual respect. Those withered hands from my memory suddenly clutched my wrist inside the medicine-scented bed curtains. A shimmer of tears welled up in his murky eyes. Madam, if there is a next life, I beg you, that fated chance that pulled me out of the mire, give it to my younger half-sister Wang Qing. Let me and her be bound by a lifetime of fated love. Withered branches made a crisp sound under the corridor. I abruptly came back to my senses. The chill from the front of my garment, damp with tears, was still there. It felt as if the ice-cold touch of the burial shroud still lingered in my palm. The sound of soft footsteps came from behind me. My half-sister, Lin Wangqing, was coming this way with her maid. The begonia flower at her temple trembled lightly with her steps. Elder sister. He stopped in confusion. Weren't we going to Bayun Temple to offer incense and pray for blessings? Why have we stopped walking? I dug my nails fiercely into my palm. My nails sank into the old scar I brought back from my rebirth. Zi Changwai's dying sigh from my previous life was still ringing in my ears. Even after 30 years of treating each other with utmost respect, in the end, it was still hard to let go. I gathered my thoughts looking at the bright and charmingly naive young girl before me, Wan Qing. I heard my own hoarse voice. We're not going today. I hear an injured little sparrow crying by the door. Go take a look. The young girl's almond eyes suddenly lit up, lifted her skirt, and ran outside. I took a few steps back, hid behind the corridor pillar, just able to see everything happening outside the door. Big sis is a liar. There is no cute little sparrow. It is clearly a Baya. Don't get too close to me, the young man's voice from memory rang out anxiously. Miss, don't misunderstand. I am a scholar heading to the capital for the examinations, because I lost my travel money. That is why I am in such a sorry state. These are my identification papers. It also has the official government seal on it. Shi Changwai took out the provincial exam pass notice. He kept close to his body and handed it to Lin Wangqing to inspect. As if presenting a treasure, Lin Wangqing wrinkled her nose and leaned in for a glance. When she saw the ranking on the notice, her almond eyes lit up. All right then, seeing as you are a poor scholar, I'll help you just this once. Simone, come. Go get this young gentleman some food. Yes, second miss. The maidservant following behind her hurried to do as she was told. Zi Changwai's body stiffened slightly. His lips moved a few times, but in the end, he didn't make a sound. I figured out his internal struggle, given his current predicament. He needed some silver to last him until the spring imperial examination, but he had the pride of a scholar and couldn't bring himself to ask for it. In my past life, I cherished talent. Not only did I give him 20 taels of silver, but I also secretly helped him resolve the troubles caused by the powerful and noble candidates in the capital. My younger sister is cute, naive, and bright. She couldn't empathize with the hardships Shi Shangwai had gone through. In her eyes, giving Shi Changwai some food when he was down and out was already a great kindness to him. I looked at the helpless and embarrassed young man at the door, and my heart ached a little. I hope his love in this lifetime can be fulfilled. 2 months later, on the results announcement day, the servant boy checking the lists excitedly ran back to the Shangshu mansion. Congratulations, second miss that scholar. You helped. He passed. My younger half-sister excitedly hugged my arm and shook it. Big sis, young Master Shi's learning is actually this good. Do you think he has a chance to be among the top 3 scholars? I nodded at my younger half-sister's bright, almond-shaped eyes. He probably will. In my past life, Shi Shangwai, because of his powerful zanying small regular script and his original policy essays, won the emperor's appreciation. He was personally appointed by the emperor as the Tanhua To. Repay my timely assistance. He came to my door to propose on the day he paraded through the streets on horseback. I am the honored legitimate daughter of the Shangshu residents. And there is only one Tanhua Lang every 3 years. My parents didn't think highly of Shi Changwei, who came from a humble background, but I had already secretly fallen for him. I begged my parents to agree to this marriage. After we got married, I used the connections and financial power of the Shangshu residents, pulling strings for Shi Changwei in the imperial court, helping him have a meteoric rise. The household was also managed impeccably by me, so he had no worries about things at home. But no matter how much I did for him, I still couldn't compare to the half-sister he loved but couldn't have. I am the #1 talent of the capital, famed throughout the city. Seeing that even I thought highly of Shi Changwei, me half-sister got even more smug. Big sis. On the day we ran into young master, Xia, it was obviously you who was supposed to go out first, but in the end, it was me who helped him. Don't you think our fate is predestined by heaven? If, to repay the life-saving grace, he comes to propose marriage to me, what am I to do? Should I say yes to him? Shumei blushed at this guess of her own, set off by the begonia flower by her temple. She looked even more spirited and vivid. Little sister, this is a matter concerning your whole life. Big sis can't make the decision for you. Although my concubine-born sister is a young lady of the minister's mansion, her birth mother was of humble origin. Marrying into a high-ranking family, you could only be a concubine. To become the principal wife, you could only marry down. In her past life, she married a scholar from a poor family. Although that scholar's official rank was not high, he was extremely good to her. For his entire life, he only had her. But she despised her husband for being incompetent, and turned the household into a chaotic mess. This time there is a better Shi Changwei. She should be satisfied now, right? My stepsister's pink lips pouted slightly, as if she was coquettishly probing Big Sis. You haven't also fallen for Shi Changwei, have you? Looking at the suspicion and wariness in my stepsister's eyes, my expression turned cold. Rest assured, sister, I will never marry Shi Changwei in this life. My half-sister saw I was angry, and hurriedly shook my arm, acting cute and playing dumb. I am sorry, Big Sis, I was wrong. You are the bigger person. Don't stoop to my level. Okay. I pulled my arm out and waved at my half-sister. I am tired, I'll head back first soon. It was the day of the street parade for the Zhuangyuan, Bangyan, and Tanhua. Just as my half-sister expected, sure enough, Shi Changwei came to the door with a matchmaker to propose marriage. Xi Changwei gave the minister a grand bow, respectfully stating the purpose of his visit, Lord Lin. The second miss once showed this student the kindness of a meal. This student wishes to ask for her hand in marriage as my primary wife. I hope you will grant your permission. My dad nodded in satisfaction. Good. This official agrees to this marriage. Me half-sister had been hiding and eavesdropping from behind the screen in the classroom. Seeing that the marriage was settled, she ran over to show off to me at the first opportunity. Big sis, Shi Changwei is truly a man who values relationships and loyalty. I am about to become the Zhuangyuan's wife. You'll have to work hard too. Big sis. Okay. I put down the book in my hands, looking confusedly at my younger half-sister. This time's Zhuangyuan is not Shi Changwei. I am afraid you can't be the Zhuangyuan's wife. My younger half-sister's pretty face turned pale. She thought father agreed so readily was because of Shi Changwei's status as the Zhuangyuanum. I got it wrong. It should be the wife of the Tanhua or the Bangyan. It is neither. He placed 10th in the palace examination. That is considered outstanding too. In my past life, Shi Changwei, with my help, only had to focus on reviewing his studies. In this life, without the money I gave, plus the bullying from those powerful and noble examinees, the chilblains on my hands never healed without the bonus points from that forceful zanying small regular script. Thus, the Tanhua position was beyond my reach. Mi Shu, younger sister, threw out an impossible, and ran out, lifting the hem of her skirt. Lanner hamped in dissatisfaction. Eldest miss, you are usually just too nice to the second miss, to the point that she has forgotten her own station. It is already quite good that she can marry young Master Xia as the official wife. Yeah, it is already very good. Otherwise, father wouldn't have agreed. It is a pity my concubine-born sister is too ambitious. I guess she'll cause a fuss, just like in her past life. I shook my head, not to think about it anymore. I have already fulfilled my promise to Shi Changwei before his death, fulfilling the fated bond between him and my half-sister. The rest is up to them. I thought my half-sister would, like in the previous life, threaten with a hunger strike like that. But I didn't expect that this time she would use an even more extreme method. She actually snuck out of the mansion to be with a powerful and influential family's wastrel son for a secret rendezvous. She had thought she would marry into a prominent family as the main wife, but little did she know, he was just playing with her. Not to mention her beautiful dream was shattered, she almost lost her chastity as well. In the Lin family's ancestral hall, the concubine-born younger sister knelt before the ancestral tablets. My eyes are all swollen from crying. Father, mother, although your daughter is at fault, but I was also forced into it by you. If I could be like older sister, and marry into a powerful and noble family as the principal wife, you wouldn't have to show my face in public to find a good match for myself. The whip in Minister Lin's hand heavily struck Lin Wangqing's back. Wicked daughter, you yourself have no sense of shame, and now you are blaming us concubine Liu. This official shouldn't have been soft-hearted back then, and let you raise the child. Look what you've taught her to become a parent's love for their child. Then one must plan for their long-term future back then. Father wanted to raise Lin Wangqing under my mother's name, as the second legitimate daughter of the minister's mansion. That status was enough for Lin Wangqing to find a good marriage. It was concubine Liu who was afraid she would lose favor without a child by her side. So she cried and begged to keep Lin Wangqing with her. Now he knows to regret it, but it was all too late. Concubine Liu threw herself at father's feet, begging, Master, it is all my fault. I beg you, for the sake of your own flesh and blood, please spare the second miss this time. Mother looked at concubine Liu's beautiful eyes, as if fire was about to shoot out from them. What Lin Wangqing ruined wasn't just her own reputation, she even dragged down the reputation of all the daughters of the entire minister's mansion. Concubine Liu Lin Wangqing now has only two paths she can take. One is to die to preserve her chastity, the second is to become a nun. No, father. Mother, I don't want to die. I am still a virgin. Shi Chongwei is indebted to me. He will definitely marry me at this moment. Shi Chongwei became Lin Wangqing's only lifeline. Concubine Liu slammed her head against the ground, kowtowing non-stop. Madam Wangqing is just young, and doesn't know any better. I beg you. Please give her another chance. My mom's eyes instantly reddened. Yinyang Liu, your heart aches for your own daughter. But what about my Wanyai's marriage? Originally, with her status as the legitimate daughter of the Shangshu manor, I would have married into a high-status family to be the main wife. Now I've been dragged down by Lin Wangqing. If I want to be a legitimate wife, I can only marry down even. So I've also lost the right to choose. I can only be picked by others. My dad's expression slowly became salute, although both are his daughters, but a concubine's daughter can't be compared to the legitimate daughter. Just as father was about to order Lin Wangqing to be taken away, a young servant came to report General Gu has come to the door to propose marriage. My concubine-born younger sister heard what the servant said. A light instantly appeared in her eyes. Father, mother, did you hear that? I've met General Gu once before. He must have been attracted to me, so he has come to make me his wife. Concubine Liu was also pleased. Her way of raising her was not wrong. Men, as expected, prefer her family's Wangqing, the innocent, sweetly naive, and lively type. Father frowned. As a minister, he is not an idiot like Lin Wangqing and concubine Liu. General Gu has glorious military achievements. Even if Lin Wangqing were innocent and pure, he might not even be interested, let alone, with her reputation now ruined. Father ordered Lin Wangqing and concubine Liu to continue kneeling in the ancestral hall, and had me and mother go with him to the guest hall. Lin Wangqing agreed readily enough. But she was afraid the engagement would be switched. She had concubine Liu cover for her, while she herself climbed out of the window. In the classroom, my parents were talking with General Gu. He was hiding behind the screen, listening, whether in my past life or this life. I don't know much about this General Gu. I only know that he came from a humble background, is fierce in battle, and is a trusted confidant of the Emperor. In my past life, he never married. Some people said he didn't like women. Others said that in his heart he had a woman he loved but could not have. My memories were interrupted by General Gu's firm voice. Lord Lin, Lady Lin, this junior has admired the eldest Miss, Lin Wanyi. For a long time, I've come specially today to propose marriage. I hope you two will grant my wish. I still hadn't finished processing Jiu Qingyuan's words, when a woman with a crazed expression burst in through the door. General Ga. Did you get the name wrong? The person you are going to marry is me, Lin Wangqing. Right? Gu Qingyuan looked at the Lin Wangqing in front of him. A murderous aura unconsciously radiated from his entire body. This general is not yet old and dim-sighted. Please watch your words. Second, young lady Lin Wangqing was affected by Gu Qingyi. Yuan's entire body shuddered in fear at the imposing aura, but still mustered up the courage to fight for herself. No, I don't believe it. On what grounds do you like? The rule-abiding and rigid Lin Wanyi, but not the lively and vivacious me, because you can't even compare to a single strand of his hair. Gu Qingyuan refused decisively, giving Lin Wangqing no chance for any false hope. Father was afraid Lin Wangqing would say something irreversible, and hurriedly had someone take her away. As Lin Wangqing was being dragged away, her eyes were full of anger and indignation. After Gu Qingyuan left, me mom asked for my opinion. Daughter, what do you think of General Gu? He was able to brave the pressure and come to propose at a time like this. It shows he is a responsible man. General Gu's parents passed away early, and he doesn't have any messy relatives either. If you marry him, you'll have a very comfortable and carefree life. Ever since I came of age, quite a few people came to propose marriage. I politely rejected all of them. Times are different now after what happened with Lin Wangqing. General Gu is currently my best choice, and his conditions were indeed very appealing to me. I don't want mother to worry about my marriage anymore. I decided to marry Gu Qingyuan. Mother, I am willing to marry him. Mother nodded repeatedly, gratified. Good. I'll go prepare your dowry for you right now. I'll definitely make sure you are married off in splendor. Thank you, mother. In my previous life, although mother didn't approve of Shi Changwai, she was afraid I would suffer in my husband's home, so she still prepared 64 loads of dowry for me. It was precisely because of my generous dowry that a path to success was paved for Shi Changwai. Gu Qingyuan has already built a huge fortune for himself. Living with him should be very easy. I suppose the matter of my engagement to Gu Qingyuan caused quite a stir in the capital. No one would have thought that I, whose reputation was dragged down by Lin Wangqing, could actually still marry into General Gu's mansion. For a time, all the tea houses and taverns were spreading the rumor that General Gu had long been in love with me. That is why when I was being criticized and mocked, he stood up for me. When Lanner was repeating the rumors to me, I was embroidering the red bridal veil. Miss, the betrothal gift list General Gu prepared is really so long. He didn't bring out his entire family fortune, did he? I was originally a stranger to Gu Qingyuan. I was even a little afraid of him, but when I saw that it was written full of rare treasures on the betrothal gift list, I was moved. No matter why he married me, just for how much he values me, I will also help him manage the household well, so that he has no worries from behind. After my marriage was arranged, Lin Wangqing contacted Shi Changwai. Remembering the favor from that day, Shi Changwai finally agreed to marry Lin Wangqing. However, Shi Changwai's family was poor. He also had an old mother at home who was bedridden year-round and couldn't afford a decent betrothal gift at all. Lin Wangqing was very unhappy about this, but she had no choice but to swallow her anger, it seemed. She was feeling competitive. Lin Wangqing scheduled her wedding day for the same day as mine. Soon, the wedding day arrived. The maids and nannies were helping me with my makeup. Lin Wangqing walked in, dressed in a bright red wedding gown. All of you, get out. I have something to say to my big sister. Second miss, I am afraid I cannot obey you. The madam has given instructions. I must stay by the eldest Mrs. S side and not leave her for a moment. Lanner stood protectively in front of me, not giving Lin Wangqing any face at all. Lin Wangqing's pretty face turned red with anger. Big sister, you are usually too nice to these servants, so much so that they've forgotten their place. You even dare to talk back to me, your master. Tode, let your younger sister teach a lesson for you to this bunch of wicked servants who defy their master, lest you go to the general's manor and embarrass our ministry manor. Lin Wangqing raised her hand to slap Lan's face, but I grabbed her wrist. Little sister, you are not yet qualified to discipline my people. So you don't miss the auspicious time, sister. You should hurry back and get ready. Oh, right, let your big sister give you a word of advice. Read fewer of those storybooks. I am not stupid enough to let you switch the engagement. Summonon, come send the second miss back. Yes, young mistress, the mammy answered. She grabbed Lin Wangqing's arm and started to drag her out. Lin Wangqing stared at me blankly, even forgetting to struggle. She seemed unable to believe that I had so easily seen through her intentions. She really did have the idea of swapping marriages, thinking of making things a done deal with Gu Qingyuan. Even if they discovered the mistake, the general's manner and the minister's manner, for the sake of their reputation, would have no choice but to suffer this loss in silence. Swapping brides in the storybooks was clearly so simple, but in reality, before she could even put it into practice, she was already seen through Lin Wanqing's wishful thinking came to nothing. She could only reluctantly get into the shabby two-person small sedan chair while I was surrounded and helped into the 8-person grand sedan chair. My dowry was so large you couldn't see the end of it. With a single glance, concubine Liu had emptied her family's savings and cried pitifully to Minister Lin. Only then did she barely manage to gather a dowry of 8 loads. Shi Changwai was dressed in a festive groom's outfit, but his face showed little joy. He watched the sedan chair carrying the minister's manor's eldest daughter disappear into the distance. He kept feeling that this scene was somewhat familiar. It was as if a voice in his heart was shouting the bride in the sedan chair was supposed to be the wedding matron. Saw the groom spacing out hurriedly, gave a reminder, Lord Shi, the bride has been picked up. We can go back to the residence for the wedding ceremony now. Shi Changwai took another deep look at the wedding procession going in the opposite direction. Before vaulting onto his horse, the sedan chair swayed leisurely. Finally, it stopped at the entrance of the general's mansion. The sedan chair's curtain was opened. The red silk ribbon I was expecting didn't appear. My small hand was directly by a hand with thin calluses. A powerful big hand grasped. I was by the owner of this big hand all the way led through the wedding ceremony, sitting on the dragon and phoenix wedding quilt in the bridal chamber. I am a little nervous, not knowing how I am going to face Gu Qingyuan in a moment. I don't know how much time had passed. Footsteps sounded from outside the door. My head suddenly felt light. The man before my eyes was holding a steely-yard rod. He was gazing at me with gentle restraint. My lady, it is time to drink the nuptial wine. The general who is decisive and ruthless on the battlefield. But right now he is so nervous he can't even speak a full sentence. If his subordinates were to see this, who knows how they would laugh at him. I was originally a little afraid of Gu Qingyuan. Now seeing his flustered appearance, I suddenly relaxed. I linked my arm with the man's strong arm, feeling his tension and trembling. I tilted my head up and brought my cherry lips to his. Gu Qingyuan's body tensed up even more. Beads of cold sweat rolled down from his forehead. Wifei, I don't want to sleep in the study, and I don't want to sleep on the floor. I want to be a real husband and wife with you. The man's rough thumb rubbed over the rouge on my lips, but he didn't dare to use even the slightest bit of force, as if I were a porcelain doll that would shatter at a touch. Okay. The moment I decided to marry Gu Qingyuan, he was already prepared to give him my all. Wifei. Thank you. When the 5th watch clapper sounded, Gu Qingyuan traced the person in his arms by candlelight. Even now he still felt it was unreal that one day he had actually managed to pluck the most precious begonia flower in the capital into his arms. I slept very soundly, and didn't wake up until the sun was high in the sky when Lan came in to wait on me. She kept snickering. I just felt like my whole body was about to fall apart. And that was with Gu Qingyuan holding back. I really don't know, when he goes all out, if I'll be able to handle it. But those muscles of his are so well developed. He is really so strong. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but blush after I finished my lunch. Gu Qingyuan had also returned from the morning court session. My lady, are you feeling uncomfortable anywhere? Perhaps it is because we had the most intimate contact when Gu Qingyuan was concerned about me. I wasn't so nervous anymore at the thought that before bed, it was the man in front of me who had cleaned my body. My face got scorching hot. I looked away and replied to him in a low voice. I am okay. Gu Qingyuan picked me up gently, placed me on the bed. My wife, I am sorry, I didn't control my strength well tonight. I'll definitely be gentler just thinking about having to do that thing again tonight. I got so shy I wanted to bury my face in the blankets. But I hadn't forgotten about the important business. I raised my hand and pressed it against Gu Qingyuan's chest, stopping his further movements. Husband, why on earth did you marry me? As soon as the words left my mouth, Gu Qingyuan suddenly looked up. His raven feather-like eyelashes trembled lightly twice and were even covered in a moist, watery sheen. My lady, so you really have forgotten me completely. I blinked in confusion. What Gu Qingyuan meant was, we had met before we got married, but how come I have no memory of it? Seeing the confusion in my eyes, Gu Qingyuan looked even more wronged. He rested his head on my shoulder, his scorching breath sprayed onto the hollow of my neck. His voice came out muffled. My lady, do you still remember the young general you met in Chuanzhou 5 years ago? Back then, I had just crawled out of a pile of dead bodies. The pain of my wounds and the deaths of my brothers made me lose the courage to live on. That was when you appeared. You were like a beam of light that lit up my gloomy life. You said I was a warrior of the great U country, more deserving to live than anyone else. You gave me enough money to survive, allowing me to get through that most difficult time. Gu Qingyuan's words made me recall a distant memory. 5 years ago, I went back to my hometown with my parents to pay respects to our ancestors. When I took Lanner to the street to buy begonia crisps, I met a young man covered in blood on the roadside. I saw he was wearing tattered armor. I immediately felt pity for him since I was little. I've always admired the soldiers who protect our home and country. I heard him muttering that he wanted to go down and accompany his brothers. I was afraid he would try to kill himself. I quickly comforted him, telling him to live on well, and gave him all the money I had on me. I really didn't expect that a single act of kindness back then would actually lead to a good marriage for myself. But in my past life, Xie Chengwei, also because of the favor of saving his life, married me, but later we became a resentful couple. Will Gu Qingyuan and I also end up like this? With this speculation, my hand resting on Gu Qingyuan's chest couldn't help but tremble slightly. I won't repeat the mistakes of my past life, will I? Gu Qingyuan sensed that something was wrong with me. He was terrified, ignoring that it was still broad daylight. He is about to check my body, wife. Are you hurting somewhere? Quick, let your husband take a look. I embarrassedly grabbed Gu Qingyuan's large hand. Husband, I am fine. I still have something to ask you, wife. Go ahead and ask. If I hide anything, let me come to a bad end. Before Gu Qingyuan could say the last word, he raised my hand and pressed it against his lips. Husband, don't say such unlucky things. My question is very easy to answer. Did you marry me to repay a debt of gratitude? Gu Qingyuan was just about to press me down, grabbing the finger on his lips to kiss it. After hearing my question, he immediately shook his head like a rattle drum. Wife, that favor from back then was just what brought you and me together. I have many ways to repay your kindness. I don't necessarily have to marry you. I've always had a secret in my heart. Every time I returned to the capital, I couldn't help but secretly go see you. Just a single glance from afar, and I would feel satisfied. Later, I was no longer satisfied with just looking. I wanted you to be my wife, but I was afraid I wasn't good enough for you. So I desperately earned military merits to get to your side in the fastest time. The affection for me in Gu Qingyuan's eyes wasn't fake. I know he wasn't lying. He married me because of love. The knot in my heart was untied. I took the initiative and threw myself into Gu Qingyuan's arms. If in my last life I hadn't married Xie Chengwei, he could have been with this man in front of me, whose heart and eyes were filled with only me, and spent a lifetime together. Turns out, he remained unmarried his entire previous life, and it was all for me. Thankfully, heaven gave me a chance at rebirth. This time, we didn't miss each other. Gu Qingyuan and I were living a life as sweet as honey soon. It was the day for the homecoming visit. Gu Qingyuan, in order to, in his father-in-law's and mother-in-law's minds, leave a good impression, had prepared a lavish homecoming gift very early on. The horse carriage stopped at the entrance of the Shangshu mansion. Dad and Mom were already waiting at the entrance, watching the boxes upon boxes of gifts being carried into the mansion. My mother's eyes were filled with pride and comfort. Concubine Liu stood to the side, so envious she almost tore a hole in her handkerchief. Gu Qingyuan and I went forward to greet my parents. Me Dad hurriedly and enthusiastically made a gesture to help us up. My worthy son-in-law, no need for such formalities. The meal has long been prepared. Tode, you must have several more drinks with me. Father-in-law, rest assured, I'll definitely drink with you until you are satisfied. Good. Seeing we were about to enter the house, concubine Liu got anxious. She hurriedly called out Master Madame Wang Sheng, and her husband should be here any minute. Can we wait a bit, concubine Liu? You are getting more and more out of line. Those two are not worthy of being waited for by this official. My dad said these few words, then flicked his sleeves and left. The rims of concubine Liu's eyes instantly reddened, but she bit down hard on her lip. Didn't dare to let myself cry out loud. Entered the Shangshu residence. Gu Qingyuan went with father to the study to talk. As for me, I was pulled back to my room by mother-daughter. You tell Mom the truth. Is Gu Qingyuan really good to you? Looking at the worry in Mom's eyes, I hurriedly told her about my encounter with Gu Qingyuan from 5 years ago, recounting the whole story. After hearing my story, my mom kept nodding in satisfaction. Gu Qingyuan is indeed a good man worthy of entrusting your life to. It is a good thing you two didn't miss each other. Mom, you can rest assured. Your daughter will definitely be happy. I saw today that concubine Liu's complexion wasn't very good. My younger half-sister and brother-in-law not getting along very well. Speaking of Lin Wangqing and Shi Changwai, me mom subconsciously frowned. If, the first time Shi Changwai proposed marriage, Lin Wangqing had agreed, she could have lived a very happy life, but she insisted on being discontent. She wanted to marry someone even better in the end. She ruined her reputation and even dragged you into it, although Shi Changwai married her out of gratitude for that one meal. He wasn't that fond of her. I hear they still haven't even consummated their marriage yet. Concubine Liu went to beg your dad, hoping he would put pressure on Shi Changwai to make him treat Lin Wangqing well. But for this kind of thing, your dad, as the father-in-law, how could he possibly bring it up? You just wait and see. Lin Wangqing is having her homecoming visit today. There is going to be a scene. Mother had just finished speaking when the gatekeeping matron respectfully reported from outside the door, saying that Lin Wangqing and Shi Changwai were arguing at the entrance. By the time Mother and I rushed over, Lin Wangqing was crying while berating Shi Changwai. Sob Shi Changwai, you are heartless. You clearly knew I was returning home for the newlywed visit with my sister today. Yet you still prepared such shabby homecoming gifts. You are deliberately throwing my face on the ground to be stomped on. If I had known you were so unpromising, I shouldn't have given you food to eat that day. I should have just let you starve to death on the street. And that sickly mother of yours, it is one thing that she can't work, but she even orders me to do this and that. As if she is worthy. In this lifetime, Shi Changwai failed to catch the Son of Heaven's eye. He could only be a minor 7th rank official. In a few days, he has to leave the capital to take up his post. Lin Wangqing was used to the prosperity of the capital, so naturally, she didn't want to go with him to suffer in a remote, small county town. Xi Changwai was in a half-old cyan robe, standing beside Lin Wangqing with his hands behind his back. His face was tense, and he didn't say a single word. Although Aunt Liu's heart ached for the suffering Lin Wangqing had endured, she dared not say a single word to Shi Changwai. If Shi Changwai hadn't been willing to marry Lin Wangqing, she would now be keeping company with a green lamp and an old Buddha. Hard times are just temporary as long as husband and wife are of one heart. Things will definitely get better. And better. Aunt Liu urged Lin Wangqing to go inside to talk, and not to make a spectacle of herself outside. But Lin Wangqing wouldn't listen at all. Instead, she cried louder and louder. My mother gave a look to the two matrons beside her. The two of them understood. They went forward without another word, and directly dragged Lin Wangqing into the mansion. I was just about to follow them back into the mansion, when Shi Changwai called out to me from behind. Wan Yikan, I have a word with you. I had a dream recently. In a dream, we were shut up without waiting for Shi Changwai to finish. I angrily turned around and cut him off. Shi Changwai looked at my nervous expression. The corner of his mouth suddenly pulled into an upward curve. The scar on your palm was from when I knocked over the medicine bowl and cut you. So that dream is real, right? Brother-in-law, you have time to study an unrealistic dream. You'd be better off thinking about how to be a good official and benefit the people. Also, you should call my wife. Madame Gu Qingyuan had appeared behind me at some point. His arm was firmly wrapped around my waist, giving me a full sense of security. Shangwai, a mere scholar, up against one from a world of blood and gore, an iron-blooded general who fought his way out, had lost before he even opened his mouth. You are right, General Gu. It was this subordinate who was rude. Gu Qingyuan no longer looked at Shi Changwai. He put his arm around me and walked forward. Lin Wangqing didn't quiet down even after being dragged into the manor. She prostrated on the ground and just kept crying. Father, can you help Shi Changwai stay in the capital as an official? Okay, your daughter wants to serve you and mother by your side. Father was so angry he directly smashed his teacup. Lin Wangqing, one must know to be content. Shi Changwai is your best match. No, father, big sister and I are both your daughters. The palm and the back of the hand are both flesh. Why are you so biased towards her? If it were sister who asked you today, you would definitely help, wouldn't you? There is a difference between the legitimate and the illegitimate. How can you compare yourself to your legitimate elder sister? If you continue to not know what is good for you, get out of the minister's manor right now. For father to be able to agree to Lin Wangqing marrying Shi Changwai was already the greatest kindness I could show him. Any more than that would be impossible. Shi Changwai stood aside, embarrassed. The hand at his side was clenched tightly into a fist. Only then did he realize how ridiculously wrong he was after returning from the Shangshu residence. I took the initiative to tell Gu Qingyuan about the rebirth. I learned from what Shi Changwai said today that he probably has memories of his past life. Rather than letting him say it to stir up trouble between me and Gu Qingyuan, it is better for me to take the initiative. Something like past and present lives is too absurd. But because it was me who said it, Gu Qingyuan believed it right away. Gu Qingyuan hugged me tightly in his arms as if I would disappear in the next moment. My lady, I am sorry I was too slow in our last life. Luckily, Shi Changwai is stupid enough that I had the chance to take advantage of the situation. In this life I hugged Gu Qingyuan back forcefully. My voice was a little choked up. Husband, I also want to thank you for choosing me so firmly. After this heart-to-heart talk, my relationship with Gu Qingyuan has grown even closer. But there is one thing that has been troubling me. Ever since Gu Qingyuan found out about the origin of that scar on my palm, he has been searching for all kinds of ointments, hoping to have that scar removed after that scar had completely faded away. I was diagnosed with a joyful pulse. Gu Qingyuan was immersed in the joy of soon becoming a dad. But who would have thought? Barbarians invaded the border. The emperor ordered him to lead his troops out to battle at once. While packing bags for Gu Qingyuan, I just felt my right eye twitching non-stop. I remember at this time in my previous life, this incident of the barbarians raiding the border never happened at all. I ordered Lanner to bring a map to check. I found that the name of the county neighboring the barbarians was very familiar. I remembered. This is the very county where Shi Changwai took up his post. I hurriedly told Gu Qingyuan about this discovery of mine. Husband, I guess after Shi Changwai gained the memories of his past life, he would never be content with just being a mere county magistrate. I suspect he has colluded with the enemy and betrayed the country in my past life with the full support of me and the minister's manor. Shi Changwai was highly regarded by the emperor from the very beginning, and later even became a first-rank official. But in this life, he is just a lowly 7th-rank county magistrate. Such a huge disparity. He simply can't accept it. He might resort to desperate measures. You never know. Thank you for the reminder. My lady, don't worry. I won't let him get his way. On the day we saw Gu Qingyuan off, my mother stood with me on the city gate tower for a long time. Daughter, don't you worry. Qingyuan is brave and skilled in battle. He will definitely return safely. I caressed my belly, which wasn't showing yet, and nodded heavily for the two of us. He wouldn't let anything happen to himself. Days without Gu Qingyuan every day was agonizing. My belly grew bigger day by day, but the letters from the front line stopped in the blink of an eye. It was New Year's Eve. Mom and Dad were afraid I'd get sad. They specially came to the general's manor to celebrate the holiday with me. Daughter, I cooked myself today. I made all your favorite dishes. Quick, have a taste. Thanks, Mom. Actually, I have no appetite. But to put Mom and Dad at ease, and also for the baby in my belly, I forced myself to eat a little more. With a loud bang, the door was forcefully kicked open from the outside. The secret guard Gu Qingyuan left for me immediately appeared and protected me, Dad, and Mom. A man and a woman walked in through the doorway. The woman was smiling smugly. Dad, Mom, big sis, didn't expect this, did you? We're meeting again so soon, but this time, it is your turn to look up at me. How the tables have turned. Now, I am the one with the upper hand. My dear big sister. When it comes down to it, I really have you to thank. If you hadn't given me the chance to save Chang Huai that day. I can't marry Chang Huai either. You thought you married your Mr. Right. Too bad. We're the ones who will have the last laugh. Lin Wangqing pointed at us with one hand, laughing so hard she was rocking back and forth. Zi Changhuai stood behind her. His gaze was grim. He slightly raised his hand. Someone behind him immediately came forward and restrained Lin Wangqing. Lin Wangqing hadn't finished showing off yet. She was suddenly grabbed by the arm. She immediately got angry. You bunch of dog slaves. Who said you could touch me? After the new emperor ascended the throne, my husband is going to be the prime minister. And I will be the prime minister's wife. Hurry up and get your filthy hands off me. Forgive us, madam. It was Lord Xia who ordered us to do this. The guard's words stunned Lin Wangqing. She looked back at Shi Changwai in disbelief. Shi Changwei walked up to Lin Wangqing with a vicious grin, raised his hand and gave her a few slaps. Shi Changwei's body stiffened slightly. His lips moved a few times, but in the end, he still didn't make a sound. "Gu," you said to Shi Changwei, and stabbed a sword into Lin Wangqing's chest. "Ah, it hurts so much, husband. I am sorry, I was wrong. I shouldn't have humiliated you when you were at your lowest. I beg you, please give me another chance at this moment." Lin Wangqing had completely lost her previous arrogant look, tears and snot smeared all over her face, miserably begging the executioner before her to spare her life. Shi Changwei didn't go soft on Lin Wangqing. The sword in his hand continued to press harder, but his eyes were looking at me. "Wanyai, I am sorry. I was wrong after marrying Lin Wangqing. I only realized how wonderful you are. I already regret it. Come back to me. Okay, I don't care that you were with Gu Qingyuan, as long as you, right now, with your own hands, cut out the bastard spawn in your belly, and come back to my side. I'll let your whole family go." Shi Changwei didn't actually regret it. It wasn't that he loved me that much either. He just discovered that after marrying Lin Wangqing, the one he loved but couldn't have, his life had gotten even worse. "Shi Changwei, even if I die, I will not be with you." My gaze was firm. "I will never compromise with this hypocrite, Shi Changwei." "Lin Wanyai, what bewitching soup did Gu Qingyuan make you drink? So much that you love him. He is just a mud-legged peasant who only knows how to fight wars. How can he even compare to me? If you insist on being so stubborn, then don't blame me for disregarding the bond we had as husband and wife in our past life. Men seize all these treacherous rebels. Yi Changwei, you are the treacherous rebel. The one who should die is you." A familiar voice came from outside the door. I hurriedly looked over, following the sound. "Husband," Gu Qingyuan almost ran to my side. "My wife, I am sorry, I made you worry." Ignoring the coldness of his armor, I tightly hugged the man in front of me. "Husband, as long as you are okay," Shi Changwei glared fixedly at the two of them embracing, and killed himself with the sword that killed Lin Wangqing. So it was that with my reminder, Gu Qingyuan and the Emperor devised a plan to feign defeat to lure the snake out of its hole. Shi Changwei and the people behind him sure enough fell for it, just as they thought they had successfully stormed the capital city. Gu Qingyuan and the Emperor's men coordinated from the inside and out, wiping out the rebels in one fell swoop. In this way, the Emperor could finally those lurking in. The traitors in the imperial court have been purged. The Son of Heaven rewarded them. According to their merits, appointed Gu Qingyuan as the general who pacifies the north, appointed me as a first-rank lady of imperial mandate. Another 5 months passed. Gu Qingyuan and my eldest son was born. Gu Qingyuan looked at the little guy who bore a 50% resemblance to me. He wished he could carry him tucked inside his robes. Even when attending court, I sat under the crabapple tree, watching the father and son playing around. I broke into a blissful smile. This life is finally complete.